Stop. Just stop. If you're a woman that's over 50 trying online dating apps, just stop. All the men on there are looking for willing wombs and volunteer vaginas, okay? They're kids in a candy store. They're literally children in a candy store. So just stop. Unless you're one of those women who's like high value, which means you got more money than you know what to do with, and you're willing to let it go and throw it away on some bozo, don't do it. Grab a cup of cuppa. This is going to be a good one, because guess what? I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop dealing with this arena of the opposite sex in dating and the talk about it and the malarkey, because I'm over 60 and both my children are well adapted to the lives of being in heterosexual coupledom. And my son has 2 daughters, so I'm a grandmother, and he's local, and we get along just fine. Nobody's a drug addict. Nobody's going through withdrawals of any kind. And we all have healthy work-like life balance. And I'm having a glass of wine. This is a Pinot Noir, Monologue. I said it wrong, I'm sure. Oui, but who cares? Know what we're going to talk about today? Birthing pains. What's all this about the water breaking and the earth going through birthing pains? You know how pissed off I would be if I were her? Exploited, poisoned. That happens to all earthly women, as below as so above. Every last woman has dealt with some sort of an SA that I know. Every single one. Except maybe one. And that one had a father who gave a damn and told her that men are after one thing and one thing only. I didn't know that. I grew up with a mother who kept my self-esteem so small that the only reason why I didn't spread my legs as a volunteer pussy all over the place is because I didn't like these guys. I was choosy and I could run fast. Right? Raspberry. Ooh, some black cherry in there. And I shouldn't have had that stick of peppermint gum. Speaking of gum, the only gum you want to chew on as long as you can tolerate it is xylitol. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not prescribing this. Why do we have to always say these disclaimers? Because we live in a litigious society, and somebody's going to spill hot coffee on their lap and sue McDonald's and make $1 million, all because they know a lawyer who has or they have deep pockets. Because in our current system, in our justice system, justice is blindfolded. She would know if she was weighing bricks of gold versus SHIT. You want to know where justice sees clearly? The tarot card. So the only place that you will ever see justice actually happening in the world is the metaphysical world, and in the world of your own soul, in the world of your own spirit, and how you yourself manifest. We get what we deserve. I got what I deserved. I was then in hell because I deserved it. Why? Because I went after a man based on my feelings towards him, thinking in my illusion and my delusion, this is the loser in Virginia, in my illusion and delusion that if I loved him enough, even with his backstory and his terrible past and history of discarding women left and right, which I didn't know about until later, even with all of that, I believed that things would be different with he and I. That we would have a garden and a chicken coop, and we would have mutual friends, and we would be able to all get along. But if you add too much of this in there, and you add his jealousy in there, and his inability to let me go, let me just tell you, I moved there and moved back in 2015, to where I live now. But when I lived with this man who was toxic, this is what he wanted me to do. Stay home all the time. So that when he came home completely drunk, snookered, and swaying in his shoes, He knew just where I was. I outfitted that house with 3 beds and 3 different bedrooms, just so I could hop from bed to bed whenever he came home so drunk I didn't want anything to do with this. Initially I did, and then I stopped because I had bruises on the inside of my legs. Why am I telling you this? To drive the point home that women who are raised inappropriately will not know what inappropriate treatment is. And a man can't bang a woman so hard that she's black and blue all over unless it's Edward and he's with that woman that's a fictional character and they live in Washington upper state and he's a vampire and he's made of like cold metal. Why would you want to F-U-C-K a guy as cold as a rock? Why would you want to do that? I'm all over the place, but who cares? So is the reasoning and rationale of the world. It's all over the place. The earth is a living sentient being. She's pissed. Birthing pains my ass. She's angry. That's what I feel. Anger. Anger because we have to go through all of this trauma to finally figure it out. And we're still not figuring it out. We're still not figuring it out. Men are still jerks to their girls. I don't care. Because guess what happens with menopause? Men go on pause. And women, myself, I'm a woman, I get to hold my iron in my blood. I'm no longer bleeding every month. I can no longer become pregnant and maybe die in childbirth. And so therefore, I get to pass my wisdom on. I keep my little cognitive skills up here going. And then I get to pass on the wisdom that I have learned. And it is to actually, yes, women, if you're interested in a guy as a potential partner, it is a job interview. He has to have your values. You have to ask him all kinds of questions. But when you're young and dumb, you don't know these things. Or if you're young and you don't have a mother who gives a damn, if you don't have a father who gives a damn, if you don't have anybody in your life that can actually address it, then you're probably going to get a little messed up in the head and become a stripper and then meet a customer and then get knocked up and have a shotgun wedding, and then maybe your life will get saved. In hindsight, all the shit I've been through, not so bad. I've got lots of stories to tell. I've got insight into the male need to jerk off. The women in the peep show where I worked, they did the jobs. I didn't do the jobs. I did phone sex. It was like OnlyFans, but live. But it was one at a time paying customer. And it was, okay, the song, I'm your private dancer, I'll do it for money, do what you want me to do. I'm singing it in the wrong key, no, I know. But Tina Turner, private dancer. And the thing is, everything a man wanted me to do had a price, and I never turned a dildo's batteries on because the women who were older than me by a good deal, 10, 15 years older than me, I was only 22. There was a woman there that was 35 years old, another woman that was 39, others that were much older. All of them had had plenty of sex. One of them had had children already and a husband that she left because she went bonkers. That happens to a lot of us traumatized women. We marry the wrong guy and we have children, and that's not the mistake, but the marriage is. And that's what happened to her. And she missed her kids, but she couldn't be married to him anymore for whatever reason. I think in her case, she had a lot more going on. A whole volume, and I don't even think she's alive anymore. She was a mess. Robin, oh my God. She had me walking down Speedway Boulevard in Tucson, Arizona once. If you look at Speedway, it goes a really long way. If you look at Broadway Boulevard, it goes a really, really long way. It goes from west to east. And there was this place called Daddy Jack's, and it was on Speedway. And yes, I danced there after the peep show, after I realized I could dance and I didn't need to do phone sex anymore. I could actually make just as much money, if not more, doing striptease, which is what I ended up doing. And all of this while I was a college student. So I was that proverbial college student who worked her way in gentlemen's clubs as a private dancer initially, and then as a stage dancer, and learned a lot about men and women. And I had women who actually were my mentors. They taught me about makeup, but most importantly, they taught me, don't turn on the batteries on those dildos, ladies, or you will be desensitized and you won't be able to feel when a real man is tapping at your G spot. Oh, gee, isn't that funny how we got G string, G spot? I love the chord G in my guitar. I'm a guitarist, I'm a singer-songwriter, but I'm not going to sing for you. But I do have music, and I aim to write it down, my music and my lyrics, so that my granddaughters perhaps can sell it. But I would like that to be the legacy. Here's our song. Maybe you can Spotify it. Maybe you can get the revenue. All that technology is beyond me. I'm a borderline. I'm a boomlet. When you're born in the mid '60s, sometimes they put you into a boomer category. But once upon a time, when I was growing up, they hadn't categorized us yet, and then they got lazy and they lumped us in with the boomers because we weren't. The millennials was too catchy. Oh, we can't be Gen Y because why? We were born too early. The fact is, Gen X. I'm Gen X. I'm the godmother of Gen X. I could have invented Gen X. X marks the spot. So yeah, in the meantime, all these wonderful frequencies are coming onto the planet. All you gotta do is breathe and meditate and feel the inner flute going up and down and connect to your solar plexus and root into the earth and open up your crown and receive. Yes, all of that is true. And we live in the world. Just focus on the beauty that you want to bring into your life and stop paying attention. Stop paying attention to the malarkey that's being perpetuated by man haters and woman haters alike. The fact is, men are biologically different than women, and that's not hate speech. Biologically, they have a Y chromosome. Biologically, they have more sedophorous glands, which is a fancy way of saying sweat glands. Biologically, they have a shorter hip to waist ratio because their pelvic girdle is shaped differently. It has nothing to do with an extra rib that Adam has. It has to do with they have a pelvis that rides differently than a woman's does because ours has to expand to deliver a baby. Biologically, women are born with the capacity to reproduce. Now, I will tell you this. I once worked in a nursery and I saw a baby boy who did not have a penis, but he had a belly button looking opening where his pee-pee came out. And he had little tiny gonads, so it wasn't like he had a perineum or poo-tang, whatever it's called, that space in between the anus and the genitalia. That's the perineum. Both masculine people and feminine people have them. And even you weird ambiguous people, the androgynous types, the ones with T's and different letters that represent whatever their ideology is. Just stop it. Just stop all of that. The reality is Mother Earth made two sexes. And homosexuality exists in cities. And Mouse Utopia is a thing. The Mouse Utopian experiment. You ever hear about that? Well, I gotta tell you, if there's too many of anything, they will start dying. There can be too many rabbits, they will start dying. Are there too many people on the planet? No. No, there are not too many people on the planet. There are too many rich fucks on the planet that are trying to I don't know, out jerk each other? I gotta tell you, my ex-husband must have recently done some sort of money deal and refinancing, because I got up to $2 million loan offered to me for my funding. Got $1 million the other day offered to me. They're all loans. They're ridiculous. $150K with $165K payback. Okay, so you're going to give me $150,000. You're going to charge me $15K for that. Now, how could I possibly pay? Why would I do that? That's a $15,000 loss. And I don't need $150,000. Well, I think there's so many rich people that don't know what to do with their extra cash. Well, it's actually just digits that mean nothing in the digital world. I mean, think about it, okay? If everybody had, let's say, $1,000, and they put it into the account where it's an interest-bearing account, and then a person has $1,000 just in person, and the interest-bearing account is paying, let's just make it generous, 5%. That person with $1,000, their $1,000 isn't worth anything anymore. But here's the deal. Everybody that has that interest-bearing account that's getting 5% back, they're getting pretend money. It's just a pretend number. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Okay, it's like if everybody in the universe, in our world, put their money into interest-bearing accounts, it would be worthless. Because that means everybody's money is growing, supposedly growing. So the only reason why we have interest-bearing accounts is for people to have more money than the ever-increasing number of people who have only $1,000 in their hand. That $1,000 becomes $1,500, and that other person who has $1,000, they just have $1,000. It's weird. But if everybody has this interest-bearing account, let's say it's everybody has it. I'm not into socialism, but let's say everybody has it. Well, that would mean that it's worthless. It's just an exercise in futility. It's an exercise of numbers. And that's what I see. I see this as an exercise of numbers. Oh, the water's breaking. We have a new birth. The earth is, we're going through this rebirthing. You know how long we've been doing this rebirthing? The earth is becoming a new earth. We're growing into this new thing. You know how long this has been going on? So long. So long. The moment is now. The moment for your life is this very moment. What it is for you to be alive is become conscious that you're a loving being, that you are alive, that you are here on this planet Earth, here and now. How kind are you in your thoughts to yourself? How kind are you to other people? You know, I've even cried over the loser in Virginia because he's so sick. He was so sick. He wouldn't let me go to a restaurant on Wine Wednesday with my girlfriend Diane, to go to a restaurant that had 6 seats at the bar because suddenly I'm fucking the bartender. I don't think the bartender's straight. And if he is, he's not my type, because I'm also with a man. So whenever a man is jealous of a woman and he assumes she's F-U-C-K-ing somebody, it's because he is. And that's what I found out. He was doing the neighbor. And he wanted me home at a certain time. And then I found out he actually was going across the street and doing her. Yeah. Yeah, he was doing her. And where did I go wrong? My mistake? I got so tired of being with a drunk, I decided to see how much I could drink. And I would just start drinking my wine the minute I got off of my work, which I owned my own business. I had my own shop. He would come to my shop and I thought, oh, he's here to help me. No, he went through my search history. He would sit at my computer and open it up and go into my search history. And then he would leave, and that big galoot would go down to the bar. And then he would find out. I started working later because I was trying to figure out the public, and maybe I need to stay open until 7 rather than closing at 5. So he would do the neighbor between 5 and 7. That's unreal. Women need to realize that men are actually sick if they had bad parents. And every single man that got screwed over by a woman, I'm like, let me guess. You fell for her body like I did. I fell for his body. You transferred all kinds of good feelings onto her that you had for the idealized relationship. That's what I did. And now you're just all torn up and you'll never be able to like look at a woman the same again because you've been screwed over. I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of things. I almost lost my life a couple of times. But you know what I have? My pride, my dignity, my teeth. This little mark, that's an impact. I didn't say he hit me. I told you he banged me so hard I had black and blues between my legs. He didn't care. I told you he had an impact. I did. I met his demonic son who was on meth. And I have been busted so wide open, meaning psychically, that when I met him, I got psychically attacked and I dropped and my face hit the pavement. And I was spared. I have a picture. I've got black and blue eyes on both sides. I had a black and blue face. But I'm here today to tell women, if you just stop it. Just stop the idea that you think online dating is going to work for you if you're 40 or older. It's only for procreating women who are looking for a husband who can father their children, and you better put him through the fine-tooth comb and do not settle. Be picky. Set standards. Do not settle. It's better to stick with girlfriends, find some good support systems, have a baby without a man than it is to have a baby with a man who's going to add more abuse to your life. And this is what I have to say to Gail, that man's first wife. Girl, you have every good reason to be angry. He's a liar. And now we know he told me that he did the neighbor there. They're lazy. Narcissists are lazy. Yes, this is a very negative video. Because all these people, oh, we're going through birthing pains, we're rising. We're also getting rid of shit. We're getting rid of the shit. We're getting rid of the anger. We're getting rid of the lava. I could kill now. And I couldn't before. And I know I could in self-defense. But here's the thing what women don't understand about fighting a man. If he's got 100 pounds on you, all he has to do is lay on you. And you can't get up. You can bite, spit. There's nothing else you can do. He can just lay on you. That's all he has to do is sit on you, and you cannot get up. You can't fight a man physically. Don't let those boss girl superhero movies make you think otherwise. So yeah, cheers. We're going through changes. We are. We're getting rid of bleh. And then we're also realizing that we can align. We can recognize men aren't worth it. And that more than anything, online dating apps are for, one of my very astute followers said, are for weak men. They're weak because all they want to do is dip their wicks into all these different types of pools of wax. They're not interested in creating a relationship. They're not interested in cultivating themselves. They're children, and they want to suck as many lollipops as they possibly can. Let them. As Mel Robbins says in her stupid book, with that stupid color green, let them. You know, it feels so good to get real. It feels so good to actually say, not all men are jerks, but many are. I had to push a button there. It said low power mode, and then it made it so I couldn't see my reflection, so I just pushed it. So, what's this word of what's the worldly advice? What's so important? What's so great about this particular episode is that I'm really telling women, stop fantasizing, stop. Get off the dating apps. You're dreaming. What happens in the natural world? Well, in the South, we have cardinals. They're red. The male draws attention to itself. The peacock draws attention to itself. If a male wants to mate, he will do a mating dance. I've seen 2 seagulls doing it. It was hilarious. They did this whole song and dance. He started, she followed suit. He got on, got off, and then took off. But she wanted it too. She wanted her little brood of nest eggs. Okay? Human nature is human nature. And our society has perverted it. Women are not supposed to dress up and look like hoes unless they are. And the actual prostitutes have to wear less and less just to differentiate themselves. You're not doing the other sisters in our world a service, you little slut girls dressing up like little whatever you are. Strippers, really. I didn't wear such little clothes. Actually, I did because I was a stripper. But, yeah. Birthing pains my ass. That's anger. That's anger. It's like enough already. Development, less permeable surfaces. Yeah, seeding. Okay, I know all about that. I've been down so many rabbit holes. I come out the other side, and the earth is sort of like that. Look at ley lines, look at cathedrals, look at organs, look at Tartaria, look at how things used to be, really. Look at the National Monument. Look how Lincoln Memorial is new and is put into this place that's old. Look at what the name America really means. Look at the Statue of Liberty. Look at its star fort. Look at what a star fort really is. Look at star forts. We're lied to. Men are the hunters. They hunt. Women are the gatherers. They gather. But they also choose their mate. And not all men are worthy of procreating, which is why we have rapists. And then someday they will all die off. They will lose themselves and their own ugliness. Because how dare a man hurt a kitten? How dare he? You think he's demonically possessed? Think about that. The earth is pissed. Growing pains. We've been going through growing pains. How about growing joys? How about growing pleasures? The pleasure of knowing that you're all right now, just the way things are. That you're now in a place of self-discovery. That you get to discover for yourself the true meaning of your existence. That you get to choose where you want to place your focus. And if you could please focus it on truth and beauty of your own being, of the natural world, and send prayers, if you will, to all those who have lost their lives in these floods and in these devastations all over the place. These departed souls will carry with them whatever frequency it is that you send. So send them thoughts of graceful exit onto whatever their next plane of existence is. Because maybe, just maybe, they're escaping, if you believe this is the prison planet, maybe they're escaping and they're getting past the moon, if you believe that's a soul trap. Everything is truly a blessing and everything truly is perfect. And yes, we suffer. And yes, I have suffered at my own hands by my own decisions. But I could tell you right now, no matter what, I wouldn't change a thing. And I have been through some hardships, as all of us have. And I am so grateful that I'm alive to see this happening. But women, please stop being willing vaginas to these men who view you as a resource for their own selfish needs. Just stop and love yourselves more.